What is up, guys? My name is Nick and welcome back to another Black Ops 6 video. Yo, I just changed my settings like crazy, my aiming settings. Since the new update came out, been playing a few hours, this thing is actually crazy good. And I want to put you guys onto this. I want you guys to use these settings as well, and you are going to see how sticky your aim is. I changed it completely. If you watched my last few videos, it's gone. All right, don't use my old settings. Use the new ones. You guys are going to like it. Abuse it, use it, and do what you got to do with it. All right, so we're going to get straight into it. We're going to go into some settings that I haven't changed yet, but once we get to the controller settings, that's where I want you guys to focus up and just kind of copy what I did. All right, so if you guys could drop a big fat like for this video, I would truly appreciate that. We're gonna go for 1,000 likes exactly on this one. If you could hit that, that would be amazing. Just go ahead and do it. Smack it to triple backflip that like button. I would truly appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel, there's no notifications on. Let's get into it. So first off, I want to go into the graphic settings, and from here I want to go over to the view page, and I want to tell you guys that the field of view is obviously personal choice. You could set it to whatever you want, whatever preference you guys have, but I will say put it not too high. All right, a lot of people think 120 is solid, it's the best to play on, but if you're not the type of player who's accurate with your crosshairs before you ADS, don't play on 120. It makes everyone seem small, it makes everyone seem far. It's just a little harder to aim with your crosshairs when doing this. It's really good for movement. You feel faster, everything feels smoother and stuff, but play at like a 105. All right, 105 is what I'm playing at. 105 is solid. The enemies are nice and big on my screen. I still feel fast. I don't feel like a slug or anything, so it's pretty good. ADS field of view, I set mine to independent, because no matter what field of view you play at here, if your ADS field of view is independent on its own, it's not tied to this right here, it's going to be nice. It's going to bring in those people, those enemies. When you're aiming down sights, they're going to be bigger on your screen, they're going to be closer on your screen when it's on independent. So if you are missing some shots, or your thumb is moving a little too much, having it on independent instead of affected is what you want to play at. All right, it's going to be really easy to stay on target, and it's really nice. All right, that's going to be it for this right here. And I will say, for the camera movement, put it to the least. You don't want this anything high. All right, weapon motion blur, world motion blur, turn that stuff off. It's just weird to have on. All right, so if you play with those on, turn it off. It's the game's going to feel smoother, everything's going to look nicer. It is what it is. Now in the interface, again, I didn't really change anything here, but I do feel like it's worth talking about. All right, so we're going to go to the gameplay HUD. Minimap always on square. Never put this on circle or anything. Square is nice, or round. Don't put it on round, I should say, not circle. HUD bounds, doesn't really matter, just set it to the max that you could. And then everything like this, you want the minimap rotation, you want it on with you so it rotates with you. The radar you want off, because once you turn this on, you won't see any buildings on the minimap anymore. It just gets rid of them completely and it just turns into like a white map. Not worth it in my opinion. Compass type, I have mine tied to the minimap rather than the top of my screen, just because I find on the top of the screen I never look at it. Even when it's on top of my minimap, I don't look at the compass. All right, it might just be me. Let me know down in the comments. Do you guys look at the compass, or did you forget it was in the game? Personally, I feel like the compass is useless, but that might just be me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. All right, next off, we're gonna go over to the center dot. I don't really know if I paid attention in game, to be quite honest, guys. Did they change this? They might have made it big again. The last update, it screwed it up. So if you did set it to the largest, it was actually on default, and then if you set it to yellow, it's not actually on yellow. I just played, but I don't remember what it was at. I didn't really pay attention, but set it to the largest, set the opacity to 100, and put the crosshair color over to yellow as well, and then from there you should be set. You should be really nice and set. Put the saturation up, the brightness up, all that kind of stuff. All right, let's get into some settings now that I do want to talk about, settings that I did change. And guys, remember, if you want easy lobbies, make sure to check out No Lag VPN. I got you guys with 62% off down in the description below. Go ahead and use it, abuse it, do what you got to do with it. All right, let's get into these settings. This I changed a lot. All right, like practically everything here besides my button layout and my movement is changed. So first off, I'm aiming with a controller. I'm on a PlayStation 5 controller, a default controller, no back paddles, nothing. The only thing I'm using is control freaks on my right stick to extend my right stick, which if you guys want, again, another thing, control freaks, use code ITSNICK or ITSNICK12 and save yourself a nice percent as well. I got a link down in the description for that too, but whatever. So yeah, I am using that. Control freaks is the only thing I have on my controller, and it just helps a lot with accuracy and stuff, but it is what it is. Now, button layout. I have jump, stand, and mantle set to R3. I have change stance, slide, and dive set to L3. Now you're probably wondering, if I have this set to L3, how am I sprinting? Isn't the left analog stick for sprinting? It is, but I did change it. I don't use it for sprinting, because you can see my sprint here, circle. I don't use that either. I just sprint automatically, because from here in the movement tab, on my sprint assist, I have it set to tactical sprint assist. And the reason I do that, with no delay, obviously. The reason I do that is so when I push up on the left stick, once I push over a certain threshold, which is in this case 0, it's going to automatically start sprinting in game, and I like that. That's how I like to play. It took, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, probably 3 or 4 days to get used to playing like that, but it was definitely worth it in my opinion. After this, again, I shoot with L1 and R1, so I ADS with L1 and I fire with R1. I just feel like it's a lot better, and then I use my lethals and tacticals with L2 and R2. On an Xbox controller, I would never recommend this. It's going to feel awkward, it's going to feel weird, but on a PlayStation controller, these buttons do press faster, they do press quicker, and in a game where milliseconds count, you want to make sure that you are the fastest in the lobby. So L1, R1 on a PlayStation controller, and some other some other third-party controllers that I played on also feel better like this, but when they're in the shape of the Xbox controllers, for some reason using these buttons just doesn't feel good. All right, that's it right there. We're gonna move on to the next one. I got a weird cough coming. Excuse me, guys. That was, man, I felt that one coming. All right. Now, I did change my horizontal and my vertical stick sensitivity. I did put it higher. I'm at a 1.80 now instead of a 1.60 for my horizontal, and a 1.85 instead of a 1.65 for my vertical. Not many reasons to do this, except if you just want to be a little faster. I found like a 1.60, I was already so accurate with it that I was able to actually just go ahead and move it up a little bit, because I will still remain accurate while doing this right here. So in my opinion, if I could be faster while remaining accurate to go after enemies and stuff, I'll go ahead and do that any time of the day, all right? Any day of the week. I'll go ahead and do that. So if you guys are really good at a 1.80, bring it up a little bit to like a 1.90. If you're really good at a 1.90, bring it up a bit to like a 2.0. Now, I'm not going to recommend playing all the way up at the highest, which I believe is 4 in this game. There's no need to do that, but if you guys like it, who am I to tell you not to do it? Go ahead and use it, abuse it, and do it. How many times have I said that in this video? We're going to stop that. Simplified control presets, all this we're going to leave off, right? No point in that. Now, swap L1, R1, I already have that on, so it's locked at the moment, but obviously that is what you want to do. Controller vibration, turn it off. Forget the threshold, forget the intensity, turn it off. You do not want it on. When your controller vibrates, your thumb vibrates with it. If your controller is vibrating and there's someone moving left on your screen but your thumb is moving right, you're going to be fighting against the aim assist. Even though it's only millimeters, you will be fighting against the aim assist, so it's not worth it in my opinion. Trigger effects, off. You don't want that. And then dead zone inputs, I changed all of this as well. Not drastically, but I did change it a bit, and I do find it to be a lot better, which is what I want you guys to do as well. So left stick minimum, instead of 6, I am now playing at 5. My left stick does have stick drift, so I can't go lower. If you could go to 0, if you don't have stick drift, go all the way to 0. But because I have sprint assist on, and I have stick drift, I can't do this. I'll just be sprinting all game, even if I'm not touching my controller. So I have to set it to 5. And it's also good because once I actually move that stick a little bit, even if it's just a little millimeter, I won't have to worry about activating that tactical sprint assist because it's set to 5. So it's pretty good. Left stick maximum, instead of 35, I put it to 50. And I noticed that it's really nice for movement. It really helps with movement a lot. And when I'm trying to do something, or I'm trying to slide across corners, slide across doorways, all that kind of stuff, I could finesse people pretty nicely with that right there. I don't know why I put it to 4. My right stick minimum, I used to play at 6. I brought it up to 8. Now, 5 is the lowest you want to go. 5 is actually what I recommend going to. Do not go to 0, because then your aim assist just won't be as strong. But once you're at 5, for the right stick, you're solid. I was at 6, and I went up to 8. Now, you might be wondering, why did I go up to 8? I move my thumb a lot, all right? When I'm just standing still in game, that right thumb is always moving. All right, so I'm just moving it over and over and over. Even when I'm just standing still, that right stick is always moving. So I had to put mine up a little bit just to adjust for that, just to account for that. So this does actually help me out a lot. If you guys like it, go ahead and do it. And then obviously right stick max 100 and left trigger, right trigger you want at 0. You do not want these on whatsoever. I don't know why default on this is 13, but it is. In the aiming tab, we got the sensitivity multiplier. For the air vehicles, this is like score streaks that you call in and stuff. 0.60 is solid. And the tablet, this is like when you call in a Hellstorm and you're trying to control it. 0.45, it is crazy fast. So if you could control it nicely with this, this is really good. If you notice that you call in your Hellstorm and you can never control it, it never goes where you want to, lower that sensitivity right there. And then when I'm in focus, I put it down to 0.90. So this is when like I'm hard scoping or whatever. 0.90 is nice, but I can't really focus because I have to press circle for that, so it's just weird for me. So I don't do it anyways. I don't focus anyways. Now, aiming advanced settings. We're going to go into this tab right here, and I'm always going to recommend gradual. I didn't change this, but I did change absolutely everything else in here. But gradual is one that I'm never going to change. It's nice, it's solid, it works out. I put on linear instead of dynamic, and I set it to 0.95 instead of 0.80. Do I think there's much of a difference between linear and dynamic? No. Am I testing it out again? Yeah, that's the only reason I put it to linear right now at 0.95. I'm just currently testing it out. I don't really notice too much of a difference. If anyone says there is a huge difference, it's not big, all right? It's not that big. And then obviously in the custom sensitivity per zoom, I brought it up to 0.90 rather than 0.85. Found 8.85 just a little too slow for me, so I did bring it up right there. That is it for the settings. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like. Like I said, we're gonna go for 1,000 this one, so you guys can help me hit that. That would be awesome. Subscribe to the channel with those notifications turned on. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys need a VPN, go ahead and check out No Lag VPN and Control Freaks down in the description below. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.